what's up, Hellraisers? Welcome back to yet again another movie review, and we've made it to the Uninvited on tier 1. So, as I said in my other review, I said that each one of these movies are going to be a tier. So, this is tier 1, and tier 1 is called The Plot Twist Revealed, where I talked about the movie and I spoiled the plot twist at the end. So, welcome to part 2 of tier 1. This is a film called The Uninvited. It tells a story about a girl that gets out of a mental institution to go home to be with her dad and his wife, and little by she know there's a lot of crazy things going around with her stepmother, who probably has some skeletons in her closet, and she has to convince her dad that the stepmother isn't who she says she is, or isn't she. So The Uninvited is one of those films that came out in 2009, and I was so pumped to see it because I heard a lot of good stuff about it. Surprisingly, I didn't have the plot twist already spoiled for me before I saw it. Not to mention, this here is a adaptation to I believe a French and a Japanese film called The Tales of Two Sisters, and then I forgot the other name. And then this is one of those films where when you first watch it, you ask yourself one question: how in the hell did I not see that big plot reveal? How did I not see that coming? Then on the second time you watch it, you go like, holy fuck, this movie is awesome. So with all that in mind, let's dive into my first pro with this movie. First pro with this movie will have to be Elizabeth Banks. Now, I said this on my channel several times when I talked about this movie. One of the things that I like about this movie is that Elizabeth Banks' performance. This girl have the look and just some of the lines that she says is just so jaw-dropping and so eerie and so creepy, especially on the first time watching. If you watch this film for the first time, if you've never seen it, and just pay attention to Elizabeth Banks' performance, the stuff that she says is just so eerie, so off-putting. She says things so slow. She ain't yelling, she ain't screaming. And another thing that I like about her performance is that the look in her eyes, the way she seems to look at our main protagonist, which we'll get more on in here just a second. But the way she seems to look at the camera and the way the camera seems to shoot her in certain scenes, it's just like, I kind of wish that Elizabeth Banks would have took more role like this. Now she's trying to get into some directing and some writing stuff, which I don't mind, but I kind of wish she would take more roles like this because she's really good at it. But like I said, in this movie, she is so good. The first time you watch this movie, you hate her immediately. You like, that bitch is evil. She got skeleton in her closet. But then you watch this movie the second time, you go like, I see why she's like that, because now she's on edge. Moving on into my next pro will have to be, I forgot this adorable little thing name, but I like her performance throughout the entire runtime of the movie. So we basically following this movie through her eyes. We seeing things from her perspective, which is kind of weird considering how we view this movie. But we are seeing things through her eyes. Everything comes through her. And so we're on edge with her trying to help investigate this situation that, holy shit, Elizabeth Banks' character might actually be evil. But what we don't know is that there's a word that the writer and the director is pulling from underneath our feet as the viewers, as the audience, if you would say. But her performance is pretty silent because she has to go out through this entire movie trying to convince her stepdad and everybody else that her stepmother is evil and that she killed some kids from another family and trying to move on and kill her and her sister so that she can have the dad to herself. Pretty fucked up stuff when you think about it. Part where we lean into spoilers, okay? So this here is the pro, another pro, but it's spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, this is your fair chance to get the hell out of here. Did you leave? Okay, sweet. Now for those who stay, who've seen this movie, let's talk about it. So this movie opened up with a young girl sitting in this room talking to this psychologist. And he's trying to get deep into her head, trying to see if she really ready to go home to be with her family. So he asked her all these questions about what happened that night, what's going on, and what do you remember. And so she's telling him all the stuff that she can remember. And for whatever reason, he found the need that she was able to go home. So she runs to her room, pack up all her stuff, and her dad blows the horn, and she looks out, she waves at him. She runs outside, give him a hug, they started talking. He finished a book, put her and her name, put her sister's name in the book, excuse me. And all of a sudden they talking, he give her some cookies along the way. Instead of Rachel made them, which is Elizabeth Banks character name in the movie called Rachel. And she started acting very skeptic about these cookies. Because for one, she don't like Rachel at all. And so she put the cookie back inside the little container and closed it and put the cookie to the side. So she gets home and she sees Rachel. And immediately she just hates Rachel. Immediately. Because she is convinced that Rachel has something to do with her mother dying. And all of a sudden, from there on out, we are trying to investigate Rachel. But what we don't know is that Anna actually got some skeletons in her closet. Well, let's talk about that one, shall we? So Anna ended up investigating so much to the point where she starts to piece together some things that happened before she got put into the mental institution. Major spoiler now. So we found out that Anna was hallucinating the entire time. Her sister was never alive. Her sister was dead the entire time. And so when we look back at the movie, we're seeing this movie from a different perspective now. At first we were seeing this movie that she was talking to her sister. And her sister was trying to convince her alongside with her own self is that something is off about our stepmother and we need to fix it. We need to stop her before she harms us. But the sister never even exists. So at the end of the movie, our main protagonist end up killing Rachel, and that's when the movie just turned fucking upside down. And so she looked over at this window where her sister was and said, "What are you doing? We gotta stick together." She started walking, and her sister slowly fades away, and it was just her holding the fucking knife. That plot twist, just like I said before, I said again, how in the hell did I not see that coming? Every time I watch this movie, I always catch myself looking at other characters to see if they would notice the other sister. But every time I watch it, it's almost like they notice her, but they don't pay attention. And then I watch it again, they don't notice her. There's a scene where you can truly tell that they wasn't even talking to Anna. I mean, I'm sorry. They were talking to Anna and not even acknowledging her sister. But her sister was in the scene, but yet she's not talking to her. There's a scene where they was in the bathroom, and then Rachel knocked on the door and asked Anna if she want to go to the store with her. And she indicated that she was talking to Anna, but the sister was in the bathroom. The sister said something, and so Rachel implied, like, as if like she was talking to the sister, but she was really talking to Anna. And like I said, it's one of those movies where when you watch it the first time and you watch it the second time, you kind of piece together on how the hell did I not catch those things. Into my first con, yeah, this movie has tons of fucking problems. A lot of fucking problems. One of the main problems that this movie has that I noticed my first time watching will have to be the fact that this movie has some jump scares that is the exact same jump scare over and over. The character would look inside of a bag and then boom, a loud noise. A character would be asleep in the dark and she'll wake up and then something moving across the floor. The character would be standing someplace and then somebody walk up, boom, you get scared. It's the same jump scare over and over and over. If you watching a horror film, the first time they'll probably scare you, but the second time you go like, dude, what are you doing? I've seen you make that jump scare before, and you keep trying. It ain't gonna scare me no more about that first time. And this movie holds that distinction of trying to scare you over and over and over and over and over. But it's never gonna happen. And another con for me would be that I'm not sure what this movie rating is, because the movie say it's PG-13, which I don't mind. It's a very effective PG-13 movie, but the movie has some rated R elements. Now, that's not really a con, but I put it in the con because it's something that I'm so confused about. Because the movie have a lot of foul languages to be a PG-13 movie. Oh, my brain. And so it has elements to be a rated R film, but yet it's a PG-13 movie because the movie has a lot of blood in it. It has a lot of foul languages, like I said before. But so I'm not quite sure what this movie rating is because if this is a rated R film, if you would have told me this was a rated R film, I would have believed you. But this is actually a PG-13 movie. So the reason I put it in my cons is because it's kind of debatable. It confuses me at the same time too because I'm not sure what kind of rating this movie is. Because if I'm gonna recommend this movie, if somebody say, Tevin, give me a PG-13 movie that got a little bit of blood, a little bit of foul language, but nothing too crazy. This movie goes crazy, so I wouldn't be able to recommend this movie because I'm not sure what rating this movie is. And moving on to my next con will have to be Anna, our main protagonist in the film. There is this thing that I've noticed this the very first time I watched it, is that she had this thing where she will be talking to somebody and then she'll walk away. She'll talk to somebody and she'll walk away. In mid-combo now. Right in the middle of a combo. She'll be talking to somebody and they'll be still talking and she would just walk away. It happens a lot in this movie. The reason why it's in my con is because we're watching the movie from her perspective. We're seeing it from her POV. And so every time she walks away, it kind of disconnects us from what's going on. Because how are we supposed to feel sympathy and have this sense of dread that there's something wrong with the stepmother, but yet she keeps walking away? It's like, what are you doing? And like I said, it happens a lot. And it happens so many times to the point where if you're watching this movie, you might actually stop it because of that reason. And if you have seen this movie, if you've never noticed that, I promise you, go back and watch the movie again and pay attention. You will notice it too. In the middle of a conversation, see ya. What the hell? And another con for me would have to be two things. The CGI and the dream sequences. If you've been following my channel for quite some time, you know that I hate CGI. CGI to me is the most laziest SOB shit you can ever do in any type of film, especially when there's no effort put behind it. So throughout this entire runtime of this movie, the dream sequencing is the CGI stuff, and it is so noticeable because there is a scene where her boyfriend show up and he's dead and his back is all fucking cracked up and shit, and you can tell it's CGI out this fucking world. The makeup on some of like the kids' faces, like the dead kids, it's fucking CGI as fuck. I mean, the jump scares are CGI. Every jump scare in this film is CGI, and although that might take some people out because of that, because it doesn't look realistic, it doesn't feel believable. But no CGI feel believable. But in this movie, I'm telling you, it looks so bad in 2023, and this movie was made in 2009. Yeah, you see why I put it in my cons. But my overall thought is that The Uninvited is just one of those films where the first time you watch it, you might dislike it, but then the second time you watch it again, I actually like this movie. It's one of those films where you can have a bloody good ass time with. My grade for this movie would have to be a C. That's it, just a C. But like I said, my overall thought is that the movie is good. It doesn't try to overstay its welcome. The plot twist is very fucking well hidden, and I'm so surprised I did not catch that plot twist. So that's pretty much gonna wrap up today's Pacific review. If you want to get in touch with me, remember, my social media link will always be in the description down below. And this is the second movie on Tier 1. We're moving into Tier 3. And you're going to see it right here what the next movie is. So I hope to catch you HELLRAISERS in that next review. Remember, my name is Tevin Johnson, and I love horror movies. And I hope to catch you in the next video. So make sure you drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that fucking bell notification so that when I drop another lit video for the channel, you'll be the first one to get it. Peace.